motorsport. Put that thing in sports. Shot it bad, bad. Pop up like a court. You a dork. Never been a sport. Dork. Pull up.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is well and good. So today I'm just going to be filming a quick video and basically kind of giving you guys a few signs that it is time to leave your job. Like, I feel like there's a lot of signs that people don't actually realize, and I feel like these are quite good and key signs that basically telling you like it's time to dip. But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you want anything more like this, as I will be doing kind of like a couple more videos on kind of like job wise. So make sure you subscribe and you hit the like button. Yes, cool. So let's get right into it. Just a little bit of backstory. I recently left my job about a month ago and I've just been chilling, like jobless, but I start a new job soon, and these are some of the, I just wanted to kind of share like some of the signs I like actually picked up on, but I only realized kind of like after that, like no, like these were signs that like, yeah, like it's time to leave. That I didn't necessarily clock them all. So yeah, that's kind of like a bit of background on why I'm doing this video. So the first sign, that's a really big sign that it's time to dip from your job, is when you're basically like fighting with yourself internally and you're trying to convince yourself that yeah, this is the job for me. Like you're going back and forth with yourself like, oh, you know, maybe it's not a good job, oh no it is, maybe it isn't, maybe it is. When you keep doing that, going back and forth with yourself, trying to convince yourself that, you know, like nah, like Hannah, like it is a really good place, that kind of thing, like it is a really good job, that's kind of a sign to leave. Like I don't think that in the right job you should be going back and forth fighting with yourself as to whether you should leave or not. Like it shouldn't be this difficult, it shouldn't be that hard, especially after a few months, which was the case for me. A few months into my job I was literally just constantly battling, should I go, should I stay, is this for me, is it not? And I was just kept battling, and that was a massive sign that it was time for me to leave, even though it was actually quite early and I was kind of thinking, oh, like it's only early, like do you know what I mean, I need to get into it. But I think by 3 months you should know like whether you like it or not, and it shouldn't be that difficult so soon. It should be quite easy and exciting at the beginning, and it just really wasn't that. It became kind of a battle between myself very quickly. So I'd say that is a massive sign that it might be time to actually leave. So the second sign that is time to leave a job, and is a very it's probably maybe the most important one, is that the end goal or the role of the bosses that you would progress towards, and kind of the goal of you doing, let's say you have an entry-level role, and the end goal is you to work your way up to be a certain role, and if you look at that role at the top and it is not appealing to you, you look at what your bosses are doing and you have no drive to do that job, then why are you here? And I think that's one thing that's very important. Like if you started a job and you're thinking, okay, like do I just firm it, if the end goal and you know what you're seeing the bosses doing is something that really appeals to you, the job right now, you're trying to convince yourself, but you know you want to do that end goal and you know you can get there if you firm it, then firm it. I can't lie, firm it for the long run. But if you're trying to and you're looking at the end goal as well, and the end goal isn't even something that you see yourself doing or something that you want to do, then why are you there? Like you're firming it for what? Because it's not going to get easier, it's going to get worse as you progress. It's not going to get more to what you want to do, it's still not really what you want to do. So I feel like that is another very key one. When you start a role and you're thinking, okay, the end goal, where it's progressing towards, am I really trying to do that? If you're not, and I guess sometimes you have to start the job to realize you don't want to do the end goal, then it's time to start thinking about moving on, because you're wasting your time. It's not going to get better, it's probably going to get worse. So that is another very kind of like key sign that it's time to move on. I think another one is something that is a bit of a weird one. I think we all have this idea in our head of, you know, like our job needs to be our passion and our job needs to be something that we love, and like it has to be like our goal for life. But that's not necessarily the case in our reality, especially if you're someone who doesn't really know what they want to do, and like you just don't think anything is that like really interesting, or like you couldn't see yourself as your 9 to 5 or as your main job doing something that like you're extremely passionate about. So I think this is where it's kind of a case of, if you have a job and you're not that passionate about it, but it's okay, but if that job is taking up all your time, that you don't even have time outside of work to do the things that you are passionate about, that's not really work-life balance, and it's not really that great. Whereas I feel like work-life balance can be sacrificed slightly when your job is something that you are extremely passionate about and you absolutely love it. And I see this a lot with self self-employed people where they work 12-hour days, 10-hour days, but they absolutely love their job. I'm not saying this is the healthiest thing to do. However, if you love your job, it wouldn't really feel as work so much. Whereas if it's a 9 to 5, or I don't know, longer than a 9 to 5, you're working 6 days a week, so many hours in the day, and you don't love it, and then outside of work you don't have time for the other passions that you genuinely enjoy, that maybe you don't want to monetize or can't monetize, whatever, then I think that's another sign to leave your city. To summarize that point, either you need to be passionate about the job, especially if it's gonna flow over into your work-life balance, or if it's a straight 9 to 5 and you know that outside those times you still have time for your passion but you don't mind the job as much, then that's cool. So I think if one of those isn't the case, then I think that might be a sign that, you know, maybe you start looking for something else that is your passion or allows you to have time outside of your work hours to work on your passions or micro passions, just things that you enjoy. So the fourth sign for you to start thinking about leaving your workplace is the environment is toxic. And by toxic, I mean this could just be like the work culture doesn't necessarily suit you. This could be the people are not nice and it's really affecting you. Anything like that to do with kind of like the work environment and culture, and it's a toxic place to be, whether you actually like the role itself but the people are not really trying to make man feel happy, then I think that's another sign to leave the job. And I think that's enough of a reason to leave the job. I feel like a lot of people, you know, they actually generally like the role, but the company, or kind of like the people within the company, the culture, the environment is not nice. That is a valid reason to dip from the job. And you can find another company doing that same thing that, you know, you feel comfortable in and you like the culture as well, because I think that is so important. And a very big factor of working is the actual people. Like, let's be real, as much as we want to pretend, oh, you know, it doesn't matter, it does matter, because you're spending so many hours of your day working or communicating, socializing with these people. So if the people aren't nice and they're not really like your type of people, they don't let you be peaceful, they just stress you out, then I can't lie, that's enough of a reason to you know, consider moving. So the last and fifth sign to potentially consider leaving your job is the money. Like, the money is not moneying. Like, I'm talking like the money is not what you want to be on, first of all, as in terms of your personal goals. You know, you want to be on a certain amount and the pay is not going up and it's just set there. And also you've looked at the industry kind of like average, you've looked at other people that you know that are doing something similar in the same field and it's paying a lot more. Like, let's be real, we all work for money. We're not going to work to have fun. As much as, you know, yeah, even if you do like the people, you know, it's a nice job and stuff, if the money is not cutting and it's not paying, you know, what you want to be earning and what you'd be comfortable with, and there's no kind of progression towards that, as in your pay is stagnant, then you might want to consider, you know, moving to a company that's going to pay you your worth. And I think that is very important in terms of like the company just seeing your worth, like whether you want to ask for a pay rise, but the company actually being like, no, like you are worth this, without you kind of having to ask or beg. And this is after, you know, you've asked for pay rises, you've asked for different things and it's just not really happening. Then that's a very good reason to start looking elsewhere, especially when it's a thing of the only reason we work is to get paid. So those were just 5 quick little signs that it might be time to leave your job. And obviously I'm not saying if you see one of them, literally straight away quit your job with no backup plan, like, or no plan for another job. But I mean, like, if, you know, you're really like unhappy and any of these 5 points I mentioned is really like affecting you or not making you happy, then, you know, you might want to start looking at other jobs. Because I've just come to the point where, like, if it's not your daddy's company, I can't lie, like, loyalty, but at the same time, if it's not working for you, then it's not working for you. And I think that's completely fine. And I think a good employer will completely understand if you voice your concerns. You're like, look, I really want to do this, your company's not giving me that, whether it's the culture, whether it's the money, you guys can't really give me that, like, your expectations are not matching. Even with them, I think they'd rather you just be honest and be like, look, the pay is not paying and I want to get paid more, or I'm just not enjoying the culture, it's not really for me, and then you can move on. Like, everyone has a notice period for that reason, and I think that is completely fine. The next video I'm going to be filming is getting to the interview stages and how to ensure you get to the interview, so kind of like tips on that and finding a job in general. But if you like this video, give me a massive thumbs up. Don't forget to drop a comment if you know, have felt this way or anything like that, and make sure you subscribe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye. Oh my god, it's not how I want it to be internally.